What's up, everybody? My name is Scott Paddock, and today we are going to talk about the dominant 7th bebop scale. There are a couple different types of bebop scales, but today we are going to concentrate on the dominant 7th bebop scale. Before we go any further, I do want to mention that I do give Skype lessons, so if you're interested in digging deeper into the bebop scales or any other aspect of playing the saxophone, my contact information is below in the description. So send me a message through my website or through Instagram, and I will give you all the information you need to know about that. Okay, so now for the dominant 7th bebop scale. It's really easy. It's just a major scale, and you add both sevenths. So you have a flat 7th and a natural 7th. So in the key of G, you would have an F natural and an F sharp. This is what it sounds like. Again, take a listen. It has both sevenths, F natural and F sharp. So you have your flat 7th, which is F natural, and your major 7th, which is F sharp. F natural, F sharp, G. Now that you know your dominant 7th bebop scale, where do you use it? Obviously over dominant 7th chords. Dominant 7th chords are the full-length title of 7th chords. Like if you're thinking G7, that's G dominant 7th is the real name for it, or C7, that's C dominant 7th. So when you hear dominant 7th bebop scale, that's what they're talking about. So you just plug in the dominant 7th bebop scale of whatever the root of your 7th chord is. So if you have C7, you would play your C dominant 7th bebop scale, which would have a B flat and a B natural, because you add both sevenths, the flat 7th and the major 7th. So your C bebop scale would sound like this. So an easier way to think of it is it's a C major scale with a B flat and a B natural. If you had a D7, D dominant 7th, and you were playing your D dominant 7th blues scale, or sorry, your D dominant 7th bebop scale, that would be a C natural and a C sharp. So you play your D major scale with both sevenths, so you have a C natural and a C sharp. It would sound like this. Now that you know what a dominant 7th bebop scale is and where to play it, let's talk about how and why it works. The first reason is it just sounds cool. I mean, adding that extra note in there, it just gives your lines a little bit more motion, a little bit more direction. Another reason that it works is adding chromaticism or passing tones. Passing tones meaning a note that's in between two of your other notes, going in between, a go-between note is what I like to call it. Always just gives your line more depth. It gives it more motion. It just makes everything sound cooler. And adding chromaticism into your improvisation, especially when you do it correctly, always makes your line sound better. The third reason is it arranges your descending scale so that your chord tones are on the beat. So let me explain that a little further. If you're just playing your G Mixolydian mode and eighth notes, it sounds like this. If we were to come back down, we have to replay that G so that we have 8 notes. So we can play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it sounds like this. That does not sound nearly as good as adding in that major 7th, which just kind of gives you like a little turnaround. That makes the scale sound way more natural, especially when you're soloing. Now, when you're going up, we want our chord tones to be on the beat. So our chord tones in G7 would be G, B, D, and F. And when you're ascending or going up in your G scale, your G Mixolydian scale or your G dominant 7th bebop scale, your chord tones are automatically on the beat. But if we come down our G Mixolydian scale without playing the bebop scale, we end up with other notes besides chord tones on the beat. So we're bringing out the 6th, 4th, and 2nd, which are not your strong tones. So if we add in that bebop scale, we add in that major 7th, that rearranges the descending scale so that your chord tones are on the beat. So that is another reason that the bebop scale works really well in improvisation. If you're playing eighth notes and you turn around at the top, it keeps your chord tones so they're landing on the beat. And that's your dominant seventh bebop scale. It's really simple. You just add both sevenths to your major scale. So you add your flat seventh and your major seventh to the major scale, and it works over any corresponding dominant seventh chords. Thanks for taking the time to check out this video. If you now understand your dominant seventh bebop scale and you plan on using it in your improvisation, I'd really appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. Thanks again.